a very late 50 sub special, but I decided that since we could not get the, we have yet to get the streaming things figured out, I would do a pack lore video, I guess. So while we are looking at this lovely picture of Luna, let's get into the pack lore. So, like, y'all know Luna quite well, but you don't know her son, June. Now, June decided to become the heir to her pack and continue on the Lotus Moon legacy and everything that happens. So, even though he was the runt, he didn't really think so and decided to become the heir. Now, he was still sort of mourning the loss of his sister March, because he lost her at such a young age. They didn't get to really know each other, but they were still good friends, and he still loved her very much. And they would talk and talk and talk as friends when they were still sibling mates before she had passed. And as they would spend their days talking and stuff, they got to know each other pretty well. Their personalities developed. But he, even though it had been years since she had passed, he still missed her. So, as he was still mourning the loss of his sister, March, he decided to set out to Amethyst Mountain in hopes for a mate to improve his hunting skills and stuff like that. And then, while he had just come to Sleuth Creek to raise his own litter of pups with his mate, Maple, he got a fractured leg. He fractured his leg, and after he fractured his leg, that was a struggle. He could barely hunt elk or a hare, and it was a struggle. And then Prospect Peak attacked his family. They attacked, and Cole had wandered out of the den. I guess she was curious or something, and she had her life taken by 1F from Prospect Peak. And June, in a blind fit of rage, and Maple was in that same blind fit of rage, they proceeded to kill Prospect Peak 1F. Now, did they want to do that? No, but, like, they were just so angry that it was uncontrollable. Now, June, after seeing how much anger was pent up inside of Luna, he wanted to choose a more peaceful route. He didn't want to choose so much war and so much hate. So he chose peace, and he would never want to kill a wolf or anything like that. He would want to choose more peace. But if it's a Prospect Peak wolf, it is on sight. And they do not make it out alive most of the time. June would rather chase off a wolf, chase them out of his territory, than end their life. Same with Maple. She's never that aggressive, and she usually tries to reason with June's anger when it does appear, but sometimes that anger is uncontrollable. And then we have Luna. Now, if my calculations are correct, when Luna does have her 8-year litter, and when we start playing with June, he will be 5 years old. Now, at this time, this would be the year after Luna had lost her mate's soul, and everybody had just gotten the devastating news. So, after this devastating news, everybody's still trying to reason with the fact that he's gone. And Leo, you've seen her once. She is the pack seer. Now, as the pack seer, sort of self-explanatory, but she can see into the future and stuff like that. So, as she is, she got a message from Sol. This was a year after he had passed, and he proceeded to tell her that he wanted Luna to move on and to find herself a mate and continue living her life the best way possible until she were to pass. And Leo listened to that message and proceeded to tell Luna this. Now, Luna was a bit taken aback, and she always knew that Leo was the pack seer. The rest of her littermates and some of her older siblings always thought she was a bit weird for that. But Luna didn't think so. She thought it was cool, and she had sort of the same connection to her ancestors and stuff like that. Which, as everybody in that pack calls them, the Starry Skies pack. Or the Starry Skies ancestors. And sure, that she would also get messages, and she sort of had a bit of a tough life, which is why she is the way she is. Like, she lost all of her littermates, and this was her family's first litter, so they were new parents, and they were sort of confused and didn't know what to do. And then, like, a humongous sickness spread throughout her litter, and I think Luna was the only black-coated pup at least, in her litter. So she had that extra disease resistance, but the rest of her littermates were just wiped out. And then, like, there was a bear attack, and she lost her mom, Solstice, in that awful bear attack, because Solstice was a bit too bold for her own good. But Luna, who witnessed this, and she had already lost everything, started to resent bears and is not afraid of them and will fight them on sight. Same with the rest of the Lotus Moon Pack. Lunar proceeded to raise her until she was like almost about to turn 2, until he passed in an effort trying to get them food. Now, Luna was helping, but since she was still a yearling and trying to figure out her strength and stuff, she was helping, but she would sort of get kicked off a lot and wasn't helping that much, and he passed. In an effort trying to get them food, Luna proceeded to take down the elk by herself the rest of the way and got herself food. And then she turned 2 and she dispersed to Amethyst Mountain in the search for a mate. She was a bit cautious looking for one until she found the perfect mate, in her opinion, Sol, who was a bit older than her. He was age 3, she was age 2, and they fell in love. Had many litters until he sadly passed in his sleep at the age of 8. Peacefully, at least, and Luna knew that it was peaceful, but it was still hard. And then as she, raised the rest of her litter by herself, she was finally ready once she had come to terms that he was gone. She found a new mate, and that new mate came to meet the pups, but he rejected the pups and the pups rejected him, so he had just left her again. So then that winter she proceeded to look for a new mate, and this mate would be the mate that we know, Cerberus, which is actually a 3-headed dog. And he was the perfect mate for her. And they raised many litters. They're raising the litter currently. And yeah, and of course, Blackfire, the one who decided to take on the heir, became the heir after, as just like June. He tried to distance himself from the pack, from all the fury and, well, stuff that happens in this pack. He tried to distance himself from it and kind of blocked it out, but his pup Destiny was always pretty curious about this, so she decided to check it out, and she actually got in contact with a few of June's pups and a few of Luna's pups, and they told her all about it, and then she decided to keep in contact with them. This was in the winter, and Destiny had just finished claiming all of her territory where she wanted to spend her days raising her pups and wolfing around in the summer rendezvous site. And after getting all this news, she was a bit, of course, taken aback, but she could see why Blackfire would want to distance himself from this pack, but then again, she also didn't see why, because, like, it just seems like a big family, which it was. Full of support, full of love as well, and would always be happy to help if you needed help raising a litter or something. So she kept in contact with them, they kept in contact with her, and she didn't really need help raising a litter because it was just 2 pups. So it was a family of 4 altogether. And with Molly, I still gotta come up with some lore for her. But there's, of course, more lore in this pack. But yeah, and not to mention the fact that but yeah, so it depends. Also, this depends on when June passes, as soon as he reaches his age 8 litter, or if he lives longer than that. Same thing with Luna, but who knows? Basically, we'll see who passes first, because if June passes first, Luna will have canonly, at least somewhat canonly, outlived June, which is funny to think about, but also kind of sad. And that's all the lore set into this pack for now. But anyways, if you like this video, then you might like others. Make sure you give this video a pause up and subscribe. Also, make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you don't miss any single time I upload. I really do hope you enjoy. Make sure you leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next one, and bye guys.